There was a time in Barcelona when they had Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Just think about that them for a second. Messi, Suarez, Neymar. Three South American superstars, and they were the best forward from their each different country. And for a few years, they gave us some of the most beautiful football we have ever seen. But in 2027, everything changed. Everything changed. Neymar left Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain for whopping money of 222 million. So it became one of the most expensive history in the football of transfer. And even today, there is no question about football fans still love to ask, what if, Neymar never left for Barcelona? So, but before we answer that, let's go back where the story began. So the boy from Brazil, before Barcelona, before the Champions League, before the 222 million deal, there was a Santos. Neymar was still a teenager, but everyone in Brazil already knew this name. He was fast, he was skillful, he was confident, and most importantly, he was entertaining. So when Neymar had the ball, he wanted to keep watching the tricks, the dribbling, the celebration. He played football with joy, and naturally, the biggest club in Europe started watching him. Eventually, in 2013, Neymar comes to Barcelona, and that's where everything changed. So over there, meets Messi, and imagine being Neymar at that time. He was a young kid, and then you arrive at Barcelona and see Leo Messi is waiting for you, the best player in the world. At first, people wonder, can Neymar and Messi play together? Two superstar, football player who wanted to keep the ball. Will it work? Well, we got our answer pretty quickly. It worked. And then Barcelona added one more player, which was our mighty Luis Suarez, and then started the trio of MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. So, and this is where the story became special. These aren't just three players thrown together. They actually seem to enjoy playing against with each other. Messi could create something from nothing. Suarez was aggressive, unpredictable, and deadly in front of goal. And Neymar brought speed, creativity, and Brazilian flair. In the 2014-15 season, Barcelona won the treble, La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. But sadly, we have not been winning the Champions League from 2015, and it's been like more than decades. But this time, this season, we're gonna win. Go Barcelona, go! So, and Neymar didn't just participate in that Champions League run. He scored in the quarterfinal, he scored in the semifinals, and then he scored against Juventus in the final. And 11 years ago, Barcelona were champions of Europe. At that time, Neymar was only 23, and it felt like it was the beginning of something. But there was a one problem. Neymar was becoming one of the best players in the world, but Barcelona still belonged to Leo Messi. And let's be fair, how do we become the main man when you are playing next to Messi? So the Neymar came one of the greatest night in the Barcelona short. March 2017. Barcelona had lost 4-0 to PSG in the first leg of the Champions League in Paris, and almost everyone thought it was over. They needed a miracle, and somehow they got one. They won the second leg 6-1. Neymar was incredible near the end. He scored twice and then delivered the ball that Sergio Roberto turned into the famous sixth goal. It should have been one of the best moments that defined Neymar's Barcelona career. But only a few months later, Neymar was gone, and that 222 million deal. So in August 2017, PSG paid Neymar's 222 million release clause. Nobody have ever paid that much for a footballer, and Neymar was leaving Messi, leaving Luis Suarez alongside at Barcelona. The reason, there have been many explanations over the years: a new challenge, a bigger individual role, the opportunity to build something at PSG, and yes, the possibility of stepping outside the Messi's shadow. Whatever the reason was, Neymar made his decision, and football changed overnight. So in his PSG years, We have to be fair with Neymar. His time at PSG was not a failure. He won trophies, he scored goals, he produced incredible performance, and in 2020 he helped PSG reach their first Champions League final. But there was always something getting in the way. Injuries again and again and again. Important matches came and sometimes Neymar simply wasn't available and slowly the conversation around Neymar changed. We stopped asking how great can Neymar become and started asking what could have Neymar become. So let's talk about what if he stayed. So let's talk about what if Neymar stayed at Barcelona. So and this brings us back to Barcelona. What if Neymar had never left? Imagine, just imagine, Neymar staying alongside Messi and Suarez for a few more years. Maybe Barcelona wins another Champions League. Maybe Neymar eventually becomes the face of the club after Messi. Maybe he wears the number 10, maybe he wins the Ballon d'Or. And maybe Barcelona never spent enormous amounts trying to replace him. Or maybe none of these things happen. That's the beauty of football and we'll never know. So before there is something we do know. For a few years in Barcelona, Neymar was special, not just because of the goals, not just because of the trophies. When Neymar received the ball, we expected something, a nutmeg, a ridiculous dribble, a skill nobody was expecting, a goal, a celebration. He played with personality, he played with freedom, he played like someone who genuinely enjoyed playing a football and maybe that's why his story still fascinates us. Because when you look back at Neymar's personal career, we don't only remember what happened, we remember what could have happened. And maybe well, that's the biggest what if of Neymar's entire career.